something, and you said, I am seeking, right? It just sounded a little bit strange, a little bit unnatural. I am seeking. You could very simply say, I don't know, but if you want to say, I don't know yet, or you could make a longer answer, I'm still searching for the answer. Maybe searching instead of seeking. I'm still seeking it just sounded a little bit unnatural, but it wasn't that bad. You said, not only this item, the other items, you were talking about that show of yours. I think instead of item, you meant to say topic? Because you were talking about history and this item and that item. If you say item, it really sounds like a physical thing that you can touch, So it almost sounded like you were talking about some historical artifact, like this helmet, this suit of armor. I think you meant to say topic. And then there wasn't any really mistake, but just, again, you were talking about that show. You were talking about manipulate some fake votes. I just had trouble exactly understanding what you were talking about. Were you talking about like a political vote, like a presidential vote?
And it was voting for legislators.
Yeah, so politics. And he manipulates some fake votes. I guess probably I have to see that to completely understand.
Kind of
Yeah, like mock interview, mock hire.
Mock.
Yeah,
Maybe mock vote. That I understand that. And then you were talking about, under Japanese Empire, that period of time. You said under Japanese Empire. You would want to say under the rule of the Japanese Empire, or I think she said Japanese colonization. You could say something like that. Just change that a little bit. Seijin. Just a couple of small ones for you. You said when I was in student. You want to say when I was a student. When you say when I was in school.
Okay.
It's a small mix-up. Again, another small one. All the people can ask to me. You also said this. I don't know why people always say ask to me. You said ask to him. You don't need to use the word to. Ask me. Ask him. I'm trying to think of an instance when you do need to say ask to.
Okay,
it would be followed by a verb. Ask to eat, or ask to swim there. Ask to eat there. If you're following it up with a verb, you need the word to, but not. Otherwise, no to. Talk by the phone is okay, but we usually say talk on the phone or over the phone. On or over. And then you were talking about, I forget the topic, but you were saying it can be more soft. I wrote down maybe say easy or genuine. I forget the exact topic you were talking about. Maybe networking or something, relationships. It can be more soft. I just thought there might be a different word you can use other than soft. The relationship. I recommend the genuine. Genuine is a good word to use when you're talking about relationships. It means kind of pure, genuine. There's no ulterior motives. Something, another word other than soft. And then you said he was majored. Use major as the verb. He majored in. You don't need was. G1, you said having a talking time. Just sounds a little bit strange. Maybe it's important to have time to talk. Just can change it like that. Or have a lot of time to talk. Have as much time to talk as possible. Time to talk. Not a talking time. It's not tea time like that. She is the best in figure skating. I would just say she is the best figure skater. You don't have to say she is the best in. Usually we say best in with an area. She is the best in Korea. She is the best in the world. And you're talking about Yuna Kim again. You said what makes you practice a lot. There's no mistake, but you might want to use the a different word other than makes. Make sounds too much like it's forcing. Maybe what motivates you or something like that. You said, I'm a collector of. It's really fine, but I think it sounds more natural just to say, I collect or I like to collect. Instead of saying, I'm a collector, it sounds a little bit bookish or formal. And then you said, their tall is high. Their height is high, just, they're tall. Yeah, really, really. Just, they're tall. You sometimes use the word height. What is your height? But we don't say that. How tall are you? He's tall. How tall are you? We say like that. Yuri, at the very beginning, you said to plan your obituary. But just, if I'm being particular, obituary, just making sure you know, is the part that you write. So you really only write the obituary. You plan a funeral. You would plan a funeral, but you will only write the obituary. Obituary, maybe you know, but it's just the thing that you see in the newspaper. That's 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs or whatever. It's just words. So you don't really plan an obituary, you write an obituary. After someone dies, there's 2 paragraphs in the newspaper. A lot of times it is very formulaic, like he is survived by his 2 children and his wife. He is what is the term they use? Predeceased by his mother and father. Who died before him in his family, who died after him in his family. He was a loving father, always blah, 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 like that. That's an obituary. And then you kept saying have homesick, but it's be homesick. To be homesick, the pandas are homesick. Again, you say had kind of depression, was depressed. Just using the word have and had a couple times when you don't need to. And then last one, you said they can remind me. It's important to differentiate between remember and remind. I think you wanted to say they can remember me. I forget exactly the topic you were talking about again. If you say they can remind me, it means they can tell you, Remind me. Always I say, if I leave this downstairs charging, always I say to my friend or my wife, you must remind me. When we leave, you must tell me. Remind me, because 99% of the time I forget. Sometimes just 10 seconds after I walk out the door, but sometimes when I get home. So please remind me, tell me. It's different than remember me. Very different, actually. And last, Ted. You said at the first time. You either need to say at first or the first time. It's very similar. There's a tiny little bit of difference in there. At first is more talking about how something develops, and it's kind of, the story is one setting. The first time as opposed to the next time, the second time. I think if I heard you correctly, you said respective to others, but you would say respectful of others. Respectful. I don't know if respective is a word. Respective?
I don't know.
I don't think it is. I'd have to check. Mm-hmm. Smarter than any others. You're talking about the guy that you like. I think you mean to say smarter than everyone else. Smarter than any others. You could say smarter than anyone. Smarter than anyone else. Smarter than any others is quite a strange way to put it. Smarter than any others. He is smarter than any others. Other what? Kind of, you need to imply that it's people. Like it sounds strange. He's smarter than everyone. Mm-hmm. He's smarter than everyone else. Like that. I want to know how smart he can be. I think you want to say, I want to know how he can be so smart.
Yes, exactly.
If you say, I want to know how smart he can be, it's like, is there a limit? Is there a limit? Like that. And very small one, you said they got money. You cannot say money. Very simple mistake. Any questions?
So love sick is also with be, not have.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's a song with the love sick. So
You could maybe say to have love sickness. You have an illness. You have a sickness. You are sick. So it is. You could maybe say to have a love sickness, but I'm so lovesick. I am lovesick. I'm so lovesick. I'm homesick.
So homesick and lovesick is adjective.
I am. It's like a feeling. Yeah, I am happy. I am lovesick. I am homesick. It's like a feeling. In that case, it would be an adjective. Yeah.
because it's not real sick. When we have a cold, we can say we have a cold.
Well, you say I am sick.
I am sick.
I'm sick. I am sick. I have a cold. I have a cough. That's why you can say I have an illness. I have. You could maybe say I. It sounds strange though. I have a homesickness. So, yeah. Just, I'm so homesick. He's very lovesick.
So the noun of homesick is homesickness or is strange?
The noun of it. Homesickness. Homesickness. There's probably a way that it could be used. Yeah, homesickness, love sickness. There's probably a way that it could be used, but I'm struggling to think of it as an example.
But we don't say I have homesickness.
I'm homesick.
Just homesick.
Yeah. I am homesick. I am lovesick. He's homesick. He's lovesick. Like that. Okay?
Okay.